A little bit, a lot of shrug it off because it's like at the end of the day, it's rankings are not the most important thing. It's a cool little accolade, but we're not really giving it too much time.
Let me ask you this: when you're kind of on the flip side, you play for number one teams this year. What kind of extra motivation does that give a team knowing they play that number one team?
I think it definitely gives you some fire. It's like, all right, let's go take them down. They're not number one, we are. So I think just kind of walking through the season with the attitude that we're better than everyone. I mean, if you're ranked number one, you're ranked number 20, it doesn't really matter. If you have that same attitude and just beat the team in front of you, you're going to have a good season.
I just asked Wes a bit ago, it just seems like this whole pitching staff is really kind of falling into place right now. You're the starters. The guys are going 5, 6, 7 innings now, and that's allowed the bullpen to kind of fall into roles. I mean, is that something you're kind of seeing, too, as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. When starters start covering a little bit more of the game, it takes a lot of pressure off the pen. And definitely gives the coaching staff a lot more options with what they can do with matchups and stuff, especially with the volume of arms we have. There's just a variety of different looks, and now that starters started doing a little bit more of their responsibility, it's easier to play the matchups when they want to.
As someone that used to be a closer, what do you think allows Zach Harris to have success in that role so far?
I think his lack of care about the result has been big for him. I room with him on the road, so we're always talking. It's like he just likes throwing the ball hard. And he's a phenomenal pitcher too. So that when you combine the intent, lack of care, and then just overall ability, those are the things that make him as good as he is.
He's talked about how his mindset is just to throw strikes in those situations. How big is that?
Yeah, that's incredibly important, especially when you have the lead. Best thing you do is stay in the zone, limit the free passes, and just try and make them hit you. And if you're Zach Harris, making them hit you is what you want to do.
We talked a lot of mentality with you. I think it was last week, but I'm curious about Wes's phrase, respect the game, all that. What does that kind of mean to you, especially as, in the stretch where you're trying to stay focused and just get these wins, I guess?
I think the biggest thing for respect the game is never take a pitch off. Don't take a day off. It's like we have our 2 days, or 3 days we're back in Athens. We have those 3 days to build right before we get back on the road. So the biggest thing for me is just using every day the best of my ability, get my work in, knowing what I need to improve on, and just dialing that in. And then remembering that, like, in game, it's just one pitch at a time, and just making sure that you have that intent every single pitch instead of, like, letting up.
He mentioned that you guys are number one in one of the polls. I think a couple other polls maybe had you guys down like at 6 or so. How important is it to be a top 8 national seed, in the postseason?
I mean, I think being top 8 is incredibly important. Our guys love playing at home, and that, just having the fans in Athens is something that I'm really excited for. So we're just going to try and make a push, just respect the game and play one game at a time, and try and lock that top 8 seed in.
Coach talked about how now you're facing the lineups multiple times in that starting role. So what's that been like, trying to adjust to that?
I think what I'm learning more is that I need to mix a little better. Just I guess third time through the lineup after they've seen me a couple times. So that's something I'm definitely adapting to. It's not something I've had to do in the past as much, but it's also something that I have the ability to do more now that I've expanded my arsenal and have a lot more confidence in it. That's something I've been really happy with as the season's progressed, is that my confidence in my arsenal has improved, and I've also been able to adjust pitches based on how hitters are responding to them. So I feel really good going 3-4 times through the lineup.
Were you confident that you're going to have success at this level after transferring here?
I was. I knew where I was at, and I knew that I had a lot of room to improve, and I knew pretty much exactly what I needed to improve on. I just needed a guiding hand to get there, and I mean, it was pretty clear with Wes what that path would look like. So it was just going to be, I need to be able to, I needed an environment that was going to be controlled enough where I had the opportunity to make those changes, and that's what was offered here. And I knew as soon as that I had that opportunity, I'd be able to succeed here.
Yes. Is that confidence performance-based or something behind the scenes?
I mean, it's not as much performance-based. I'd say it's just, I can step back and see a clear path. Like, if I look at it objectively, like Wes always talks about, it's like, all right, I know I'm here. This is what I need to be able to do in order to perform against these hitters. And as long as I continue to trust the process and try and hit each of these goals along the way, I'll have success based on other people's performance, right? So if it's like, if you just go based on comparisons of how people have performed in the past, and then where I'm at, it's like, this is how I should perform, and then based on the objective data about my stuff, my mechanics, all that stuff, and then after that, it's all mental, right? So after the performance side, or the skill set is created, then just comes down to slowing the game down and being able to trust the mental side. And that's something I pride myself on. I think I've done a good job of at this level.
Anything else?